In the last video, I showed you why what you are calling a discipline problem is actually an identity familiarity problem. Your brain pulling you back to what is familiar every time you try and make a next level decision. I left you with that exercise, the 3 questions. What decision did you reverse? What identity was making it? And what would the next level you have done instead? So what nobody tells you about that gap between the answer to 2 and to answer 3 is that it's not actually just about identity. It is about understanding what kind of decision you are actually making. So here is the thing. Most founders are asking the wrong question. They are asking things like, what is my next move? What is the strategy? What are the tactics that are going to get me from A to B, i.e. what should I do? Now, when I say that is the wrong question, I don't mean we never ask that question. But there is a better question to be asking, the question that will actually change your business. And that question is, what kind of decision am I making? So not all decisions create the same business. And in this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 levels of decision making. By the end, you are going to be able to look at any stack point in your business and know immediately which level you are operating from and which level the decision actually belongs on. So before I get into it, tell me in the comments right now, what is one decision that you have been sitting on for more than a month? It doesn't matter how big or small, just name it below. I want you to have something real to map this onto as we go through. Okay, we don't want to just be listening and consuming. Let's actually make this become a real change in our business. By the end of this, you will know exactly which of the 3 levels is holding your business right now and the one decision that would actually move you off it today. So here is what I see all the time. A founder hits a plateau in her business. The results that she is getting are real. Okay, so her clients, they have outcomes. The work that she delivers is really good. But that effort to result ratio, I know that you know the one that I'm talking about, it has actually stopped matching. Okay, so she is working harder than what her bank account is reflecting. Does that sound familiar? I have been there too, do not worry. So when someone hits this plateau, they often start asking, what do I need to do? Do I need another offer? Do I need to be more visible? Do I need a different strategy? So maybe yes to all of those things, but here is where it gets interesting. When you ask, what should I do next? You are almost always going to land on a reactive answer. And reactive answers keep you in the same business. So I have been mapping this with my mastermind clients for years. What has emerged to me is a very clear framework that completely changed how we look at decisions at every single stuck point in your business. There are 3 levels of decisions that founders make, and most women that I work with are making level 1 decisions for level 3 problems. So let me walk you through them. So level 1 are reactive decisions. These are decisions made to solve immediate discomfort. They are, I need more clients. I need to create a better reel. I need to learn how to edit more professionally. I need to just completely flip into another strategy. The problem feels urgent, and that is amplified by the amount of noise that you are hearing around you. If you are not intentionally looking at who you are consuming and what you are allowing yourself to consume, then when you are in this reactive decision level, every single person who has a $27 offer that is well positioned in a way to make you feel like they have the magic shortcut solution that you've never seen before, they are going to make you feel like you have to make an urgent decision into these things. So every decision feels urgent. Reactive decisions don't build businesses. Reactive decisions are made by people who are in what I call survival identities. They are making decisions from fear, from scarcity, from lack. They are making decisions from outdated programming. We've talked about this a lot on this channel already. Outdated programming and outdated beliefs, therefore outdated decisions that the founder is making. So we stay in these reactive decisions and they keep you in motion, yes, but they do not actually move you out of the loop that you are currently repeating. This is why so when people come into Frequency First Business and they come into work with me in this program, even though we offer all of these amazing strategic resources to help you rebuild your foundations and, price and create your offers and all of these amazing things, the very first thing that we do before you actually get access to those things is our phase 1, I claim back my safety, because that is the work where we're actually reprogramming the survival identity who has been leading the business in this season. And if you don't do that first, if you do not bring in the somatic safety, if you do not bring in a change, pattern interrupt, and reprogram the way that you are thinking and making decisions, then you just create the same business. So that's why we kind of gatekeep the strategic resources until those few pieces of phase 1 are actually done. Because I don't just want you in motion, I want you growing. I want you stepping out of the same loops. So level 2, does anybody else do that? Every time I go to say a 2 or a 3, I put up the wrong amount of fingers. Anyway, I do know how to count, I promise. Level 2 is strategic decisions. So these change how the business operates. They change your pricing. They change your offer. They change the way that you hire, the way that you create systems. This is where most business advice will live. And strategic decisions do move the needle, absolutely. But coming back to the identity layer, because I will always bring the 2 together, they will only move the needle if the right person, and I don't mean not you, I mean the part of you leading, i.e., is it a survival identity or is it a resource part who can make different level decisions and then hold them? Only if the right person is making those decisions. Then we have level 3, identity decisions. So this is where everything really shifts, because identity decisions aren't just asking, what do I need to do to get to that next level? It's asking, who do I actually need to become to lead the business that I am trying to build? They're not about what you do. They are about who you are being when you do it. That is the core difference to everything. But here is the kicker. Every strategic decision is filtered through the identity of the founder making it. So you can make the most brilliant strategic decision in the world. You can be handed the most highly profitable strategy by a world-class business strategist. But if it is being executed by an identity that doesn't believe that she can actually hold it, or that it's not a fluke, we were just talking about this in my mastermind conversation this morning, someone who has this repeated evidence. She has created a launch event that works so well for her, an in-person event that has now sold out 30-odd women twice. She has then had one-on-one clients come from those events twice, just within the space of a couple of months. And she sat on the call and she's asking, okay, what's next? What do I do next? And we had to spend about 10 minutes coming in and really sitting with, actually, can you anchor into the identity of who just created that? Because that part is also questioning, could I actually fill a room if it was online? Would they still come to my in-person events if I move it online? Underneath all of this is someone who was saying, oh, I have done these amazing things. Yes. I have created a strategy that works for me and is beginning to be proven. Yes. But is it a fluke? Can I recreate it? Can I actually create the income that I want from this? So if the strategy is being executed by an identity that doesn't actually believe she can hold it, it won't stick. You also saw that in our last video, as well as what I just told you was happening with Jess. I want to show you what this actually really looks like in practice. So I shared this chart with a group of women, a group of founders that I recently did a workshop with. And I wanted to share it here with you because I think it really captures something that most typical business advice will miss. It is really, truly not about just doing things different, but it is about the evolution from one kind of decision making to another. And every single one of these arrows, it is a move from a lower level, immature business state decision making to a higher level, more mature business state decision making. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So let's look at get clients to building positioning. This one trips up a lot of women because if you are making reactive decisions, then you are there and you are thinking, oh, I need to get more clients. So let me post more, let me pitch more, let me do more. And yes, you may end up getting those more clients from that, but you are also staying in a cycle of chasing them and also very much reaffirming the more I do, the more I make narrative. Now, if you spent any time in my world, you know that we really anchor into the less I do, the more I make, not because we don't love working or because we don't have a work ethic, but because we truly are building businesses that create us leverage. So building positioning is a strategic decision. It is saying, I am not going to chase clients anymore. I am going to become the obvious choice. That is a different decision entirely. And yes, it can be slower at first, so it may not be the fastest cash flow grab. It may also feel a little less productive, but it compounds. So imagine that you are the one stuck in the getting clients loop and you are posting daily and you are DMing and you are showing up everywhere to keep the pipeline moving. And I mean everywhere. You are recreating for your blog, you are doing your podcast, you are also putting it out onto Pinterest and Instagram and LinkedIn and what else? We've got Threads. Let's think you're everywhere, but you're also really fucking exhausted. And you are asking yourself, what else is there to do? Because you have already done really so much, quote unquote, everything, your version of everything. The answer in this situation was actually never to do more. It's to stop making the reactive decision to chase clients and make the strategic decision to build positioning instead. So I can work with you on shifting your content from hire me to here is how I actually think about this. Watch what happens. Founders that I have walked through this exact shift with have doubled inbound inquiries in around 3 months while posting less, not more. And this is not just about what they are doing. It is all about who they are being as they do it. That's why the power, and I will stand on this hill forever, the power of bringing your identity and your strategy into the same conversation it's unbelievable. So what this level is, it's moving from reactive, from I need clients now, to strategic. I am building an asset that brings clients to me. So if you are stuck here, tell me in the comments. There is no shame in being in this place. I have been there too. Are you still chasing? Are you building positioning? Let me know. Type chasing or type positioning. So let's move on to the next one, more offers versus better business model. Now this I truly see constantly. I also need to say how guilty I have been of this. So you hit a revenue ceiling And your first instinct is to create another offer, another workshop, a lower ticket thing, maybe VIP days. In this case, you are making reactive decisions. Yes, I believe in multiple revenue streams into your business, 100%. But making the decision from, oh, I need more revenue streams because I have reached a ceiling is not necessarily going to break you through that ceiling. But what the question could be, if we're thinking from that next level decision making, would be a better business model is a strategic and identity decision, because it asks what model actually serves the life that I want and the clients that I want to serve, not just what can I sell a lot of. So maybe this is you right now. Maybe you have 5 offers running at once, like 5, and your energy is split 5 ways. And you never know which one you're talking about on the front end because you want to sell into them all. They're all open. We just want the cash flow, so we'll just get anyone in any of them, right? No. And none of them are performing anywhere near their potential. So the reactive decision is, oh, well, I better add another offer. I'll add another price point offer. The strategic decision is actually to streamline into one signature methodology with maybe 2 delivery formats. That is a business model decision. That's not necessarily your business model decision, but it is an example of a very different decision to, I'm just going to add another offer into this. But you can't actually make that strategic move until you make the identity decision underneath it first. Decide. I am a premium provider. My body changes as I say that. I need to get comfy. But I want to change my whole posture as I say that. I am a premium provider. I am not a bargain option. That is level 3. And that is usually the one that nobody wants to make first because it is not a spreadsheet decision. It is a mirror to your whole entire world. In my world, this is what we do within Frequency First Business when we are getting into, first of all, phase 3 as to why you are an authority. By the way, you can actually have a look at Frequency First Business if you are ready to grow right now. And then we come into level 5, phase 5, where it's like, I know in my body. It is a knowing. It is so hard to put into words. It is just a knowing that this is the level that I deliver at. Not necessarily high ticket pricing, but the energy, that premium energy, the embodiment of knowing your worth. So let's look at the next one, work harder versus build leverage. This one is really personal for me. For years, I genuinely thought that working harder was the answer. More hours, more effort, more pushing, more offers, as we just talked about before. And that comes from so many things. That comes from school. That comes from even the last time I was in a normal job. I was rewarded, aka my salary was raised. I was given positions of leadership, but that came with more responsibility, more things to do. In the particular sector that I was in, it also came with less support. So when we are thinking about more, it is a reactive decision. It's what you do when you don't trust that there is another way. So building leverage, that is a strategic decision. It is saying, how do I create assets that work when I'm not working? That could be hiring, could be creating a group program instead of a one-to-one. That could be building systems. Leverage requires you to tolerate something uncomfortable. It requires you to let go of control. That is all identity, not strategy. Being able to tolerate the uncomfortable and letting go of control. I'm even thinking just now, like I have just come off a Frequency First Business VIP level call. And we were talking about this with my client, Sarah, who is a home organizer. She has been in home trading essentially still, yes, packages, but time for money. She is capped with how many people she could serve. She has wanted to create a lever, a leveraged offer for so long. And she finally has. She's actually created it. She launched her online course. She sold 5 places in her first launch. She is currently delivering it. And we sat on the call and we talked about exactly this. We talked about the fact that she is asking the question of, how do I create assets that work when I am not working? And she has to think very differently for that. She has to push herself out of her comfort zone. Everything that she knows to be true about how she has made money in the past and how she has built a successful business in the past, she is challenging that right now. But she's challenging it for the vision that she ultimately wants to build. So I can just imagine, I can feel you nodding along when I say build leverage, build leverage. But then you go straight back to doing everything yourself or not making the change in your offer. Why? Because the identity that built the business is the doer. Again, that is a survival mode identity. That is one that we reprogram in phase 1 of frequency first business. Delegating feels like stepping away from who you are. So let's move to, pretty much ties into what we're talking about here, the decision between doing more and removing more. And that's the key piece in this, because we have talked about doing more a lot. Do more is reactive. It sounds really simple to just remove more. It's not. You know it's not. I know it's not. It's not that simple. So do more is reactive. It is what you do when you are not clear on what actually moves the needle. Remove more is strategic. It is tied in with leverage. And it is also identity. Because it requires you to say, this thing that got me here, I'm letting that go. That takes conviction. That takes self-trust. That takes the identity of someone who doesn't need to prove her worth through output. So I want you to ask yourself really honestly, what are you doing right now in your business that you know you should stop? Do you know what the actual needle moving things are? We release a tool every single Monday within Frequency First Business that I highly recommend my clients use, that actually asks them to look at what truly is needle moving. And for the majority of the time, it is only 1 to 3 things. And if they don't know the answer to that, then we coach them through it. So why haven't you stopped doing the things that you know you should stop? Usually we're addicted to being busy. Or the answer is, I don't know how. I'm afraid what happens? No one can do it as good as me. Think about if that is you. Let me know in the comments if you're just feeling like really seen right now. Oh my gosh, Jets. I feel so seen. This is me. And the last piece is visibility to authority. This is the one that separates 6-figure founders from multi-6-figure and 7-figure founders. Visibility is strategic. You're showing up, you're posting, you're getting seen, you're creating your quarterly visibility plan. You know, where am I pitching to podcasts? Whose audiences am I getting in front of? All of those pieces. But authority is identity. Authority is the decision to be the expert, not just the person with an opinion. It is the decision to hold your ground when people disagree. It is the decision to speak as if you belong in the room even before you have been invited. And it is an embodiment of everything that has made you, you. This is phase 3, by the way. I know I'm talking about frequency first business a lot today, but boy, I just love this program so much because you can see how impactful all of these phases are. It is the embodiment of knowing what makes you uniquely you and why you own that place to be there. And embodiment and knowing is the only words that I can think of to describe it. And it is the only words that my clients have been able to come back to me with. They're like, I just know. I just know. And that then comes out in their frequency. That comes out in the way that people receive them. You can be highly visible, so highly visible, and have zero authority energy. You can have quiet authority and still build a thriving business, although visibility definitely helps. I'm not saying don't be visible. What I want you to really notice about this chart is that every single arrow, every single evolution is asking you to move from a decision that feels urgent and familiar to a decision that feels slower, but it compounds. And that slower compounding decision, it is almost always requiring you to become someone slightly different, like just a 1 degree shift into that next level identity, into what I would call your fuck yes frequency that leads your business. However you want to look at it, your top 5%, the person taking you to that next level, it requires you to take a shift into something slightly different to execute it. So here is what I want you to take from this. Your next level is not waiting on another strategy. It is waiting on the decision that you have been avoiding. Because that decision asks you to become someone different. That is really highly uncomfortable. We know that. Every single business has one decision that creates disproportionate momentum. Not a to-do list, not 5 priorities, one decision. And the reason that most founders cannot see that is because they are diagnosing the wrong level. They're trying to solve an identity problem with a strategic plan, or they are trying to solve a strategic problem with a reactive scramble and a whole heap of noise telling them that everything is important to do first. People are very convincing. It's definitely your visibility. It's definitely your messaging. It's definitely your content quality. Let me bring this back to you. That decision that you named in the comments at the very start of this episode, I want you to go back and look at it. What level was that really on? Level 1, 2, or 3? And more importantly, what level should it be on? Because if you have been trying to make an identity level decision with a reactive approach, pushing harder, doing more, adding another offer, that's why it hasn't moved. And if you are not sure which level you are operating from, there is a tool that I have built. It will show you exactly which of the 5 ceilings that I have identified in my 5-6 years of serving female founders and 18 years of building businesses that you are actually hitting. This diagnostic will take you just 5 minutes. You'll answer a few questions and it will name the thing that you have been feeling, but you have not been able to put language to yet. And it will tell you your very next step focus so that you can finally break free from this loop. So the next level of your business isn't created by doing more. It is created by making better decisions, and better decisions don't come from information. They come from understanding what level the decision actually belongs on. Your nervous system, your identity, and your business, you already know they're all in the same room. The question is, which level are you making decisions from? So take the diagnostic. It's 5 minutes. It's completely free. It is linked below. It'll show you exactly which ceiling is most active for you right now and what to do about it. And before you go, tell me in the comments, looking at that everything evolves chart that we were looking at before, which of those 5 decisions, those 5 evolution decisions, is the one that your business is calling for you right now? I want to know where you're at. I want to know that this was valuable for you. And based on your comments, I will create the next video. If this episode awoken something in you, good. You are ready to lead from your fuck yes frequency, and you'll find ways to go deeper in the show notes. And before you go, I would be so grateful if you could leave a review and share this episode with someone who you know that is done leading their business from survival and ready to create and live in overflow. See you on the next one.